Alright guys, how's it going? It is Mr. Extra from Team Extra, you already know. So I figured I'd go ahead and sit down and talk a little bit about lightsworn and the YCS indy, right? So for anyone who's seen me over there for YCS indy, I was playing lightsworn. So due to popular demand via my inbox, there has been a lot of people asking me to explain in depth how lightsworn went, pros, cons, stuff like that. So I figured I'd go ahead and sit down and talk about that. Alright, so first things first, I ended on 5-3-1 with lightsworn. There will be a separate video for YCS recap as well. Look for that as well. And that'll cover all the team members who went, how they did, general matchups, what we did and stuff. It was pretty fun. Anyways, so back to the topic. So I went 5-3-1. My matchups for lightsworn, I'm gonna cover this and I'll get real in depth into the build I played, pros, cons, and shit. I played against 2 Yubel. I played against 2 Tempai. I played against 2 Striker. I don't know why. Then I played against a Branded, a Drytron, which was pretty wild. And what was the other one? Salad. Anyways, the draw was due to Salad. Time is a thing. 2 of my 3 losses were to Tempai. And the other loss was due to Yubel with Gustav Max Burn. And, Libe for the follow-up for, just to kill you. Anyways, so the build I took for lightsworn was Bestial Horse Lightsworn. I'm sorry, guys. But pros and cons. Pro, they have to have shifter or have to brick. If anyone who's played lightsworn before knows, it does happen from time to time. But I typically, since I was running with the horse build and I was running Bestials too, the horse stuff could get bricks out my hand to make it a little bit easier. But yeah. So the biggest struggles that the deck had was it was against Tempai. So the build that I ran, the one that I'm talking about, right? It was tailored to fight Snake Eyes, right? I didn't fight Snake Eyes the whole day. No idea why. I figured I'd see it pretty early in because I started off, decent. But no. So it's very tailored to deal with Snake Eyes. It has some tech cards for Tempai, like Turtle, Electromagnetic Turtle was for Tempai, but most of the time it didn't come up, and they would make Transcendent in the main, so it is what it is. And there's always D-Barrier. D-Barrier is pretty good. Cosmic, regular stuff like that. So the pros against Tempai is they're always going to let you go first. You're never going to let them go first with this build because, you really don't want to. I mean, they're going to end on some stuff, but there are Tempai players playing Rivalry in the main, and after I seen that against my first Tempai player, I was just like, no thanks. And secondly, you can build a board that they can't break between Aegis, Colossus, because, for example, Colossus against Tempai really hurts them. They can't Prosperity, they can't Pydora. Even if they have Second Summoning out, their Pydora still can't search. Right? Reason being is Colossus, his effect is a passive. So, static effect, I guess is what you want to call it. And that doesn't clash with Second Summoning. We were also playing stuff like Crystal Wing and the Crimson Dragon package. But against Tempai, just they overwhelm you, even then. But it's mainly the board breakers. The board breakers were really carrying it for them. What can I say? If they have it, they have it. If they don't, they don't. Put everything in defense mode. Trust me. You don't want to get hit with a lightning storm and lose all your field because you got too lazy to keep stuff in attack. But outside of that, in depth a little bit. So Tempai was the biggest weakness of the whole day. My first Tempai player, we ended up going to game 3. I was at table 14. This was round 2. And he won, I had 10 minutes left. He let me go first. Of course, he had the shifter. I did not have the called by. So Shifter cucks the whole deck initially, but you guys could have guessed that. Because, I mean, the worst case scenario, lightsworn is a deck, and the Shifter, no matter which variant you're playing, outside of probably Runic, but even then, don't play that version. I don't know how that's working. That's just Runic control. If you're going to do that, don't take lightsworn and play Runic control. It's stupid. But, the most the deck can do under Shifter is, like, make Peter, set up some generic stuff, and wait it out. Against Tempai, you're not going to have the chance to wait it out, so it is what it is. But Shifter's just it. I mean, my version plays Synchros, XYZs, Links, and then, you know, the two fusions, so Enlightenment and Colossus. So the deck doesn't die to D-Barrier, but again, tailored for Snake Eyes, has shufflers, has all the good stuff, but Tempai was the only main problem of the day. Ubel was just game 3 I bricked and then got burned and killed. Simple. Overall, like, the overall experience was still pretty good for Lightsworn. It is still definitely rogue. It is still pretty RNG based off of like my 9 rounds for day 1. I didn't hang out for day 2 to do side defense. I was 1 loss too many to try to bubble in the day 2, which would have been crazy because I only seen one other person playing a Lightsworn deck the entire day, and he sat next to me round 1, and he was playing the same thing, but I think he was playing like a 50 card pile because he was playing Black Witch Engine. He was making up Harbinger. It was looking good. He lost his match though against I believe he's playing against Tempai. I don't know. So the deck kind of struggles against Tempai due to transcendent protection, kind of hard. And looking back at it now, Lightsworn with all gas, no brakes, it's great. But post YCS, I have made changes to my build. You need to have some kind of hand trap in there, or at least slow them down. Because unless you're just amazing at winning dice roll, there's got to be something. That was the shortest thing. Because if I could at least hand trap Tempai twice, probably could have won. You know, I didn't get 2-0'd by anyone the entire day. I always took it to game 3. The downside about Lightsworn is no matter if you go uninterrupted or not, because of how your mills are, it still takes forever to put the board down. It's on average like 8-9 minutes. It just depends on what the mills are, because if the mills are weird, then you got to think about it. If they're pretty straightforward, you don't. Simple as that. The lines are like, they collude into each other, so to speak. That's like the point of like Gamble deck or like Tierman. New decks like that. But I still think it is rogue. It is still very strong. The deck is 100% a local buster, and I say a local buster because I've won multiple tournaments with it at locals, for example, because the deck can just show up and super sack people, and if you're good at rolling dice, you go first and you get the same board down every time, you're gonna always win game 1, because not many decks are playing through Aegis, Colossus. It's like Aegis, Colossus, Peter, Crystal Wing. No hand traps for the game 1. Regain's live. Enlightenment's also live. And then you have an IP to an SP for the build I was playing for the YCS. Now, post YCS, you'd be making an Apo instead, but that's besides the point. So, tech cards, I didn't play too many really spicy tech cards outside of like the turtle, like I said. I mean, scatter shopper time, the deck takes forever to do what it needs to do. It's one thing I hate about it, and I don't like RNG decks personally, but I mean, it's still fun, but it has its days. And then, you know, play Corridor if you can, even if you play 1. It is good. It is really good. I don't know what to tell you about it. Every time I put Corridor out and went into Colossus, scoop. I think there's only one time that my opponent didn't scoop, but it slowed them down enough. But if you guys are interested to see the new build, right? So you can go look at the deck profile I put up a couple weeks ago. I ran that exact same list for the YCS. I didn't make too many changes to it, right? So it'd be pretty easy to make adjustments, assuming you're following that list. I was playing Zorborst before because I would Zorborst the field to like clear boards when I need to. Change that out for Appaloosa. So that is the only change in the extra deck. In the main deck, if you are looking at that old list, I was playing the Horse Field Spell, Imperial Tomb. You would just change that, and you take that out. You take Geralf out. Geralf out, believe it or not, aside from it being another lightsworn name, it never came up. I never wanted to normal summon it. If I'm normal summoning anything, it was usually Safer. Because Safer gets Dragling, Dragling gets you Combo, Combo gets you Athena, and then, you know, you end up making board through Dragling or through Zombie Vampire or through Lebellion. There's a lot of routes to do it. So I took out Geralf, I took out Imperial Tombs, and then all I did was I added 2 Imperm, 2 Valor, bumped it up to 42. I've already tested it since then. I would have rolled this video out for you guys yesterday when it was day 2, but the problem is, since we didn't make day 2, we had to get up. I had to go back home, and then I had to go work. So, you know, non-Yu-Gi-Oh problems and whatnot. But hopefully this video was informational to you, or informal, I guess is the word. Hopefully you keep grinding with the deck. The deck is good. I will keep teching this deck out as much as possible for the time being, because when I'm not playing this deck, I also play Goblins and Tenpai. That is for another video. I can cover stuff about that if you're interested about that too. And some super spicy techs. Or I'll just ideas off the top of my head for this moving forward. So if you're feeling frugal, I guess probably not the right word, there are a couple other little techs you can throw in here to really strong arm onto your opponent, right? So first off, this deck can do the rollback Maikashi lock very easily, because if you do your full board, you're going to end up with like 6 to 9 cards at the end, assuming like your mills are relatively good. And you'll probably hit rollback and the Maikachi trap in there, which means if they break your board and draw phase, you just shotgun that and you just shut out their whole turn. Leaves it to where they can only special summon from a grave, which hurts a lot, usually. Not in our case, but because we can just charge again, charge, get Wolf and Archer out that way, and kill someone through it, so to speak. Assuming you hit Wolf and Archer. So, you can do that. You can, if you want, you can try the tier stuff. I don't recommend it, and if you are going to, I would literally only play just enough to make Wenda, the Wenda lock, which, you know, that's another route you can do too. Oh, what else? You can do the Needlebug Nest play with the trap. It's too slow though. It's really, really too slow. But I kind of think that's all I got for you guys for right now. Like I said, I'll keep messing with the deck. But, yeah, you can try the Runic version if you want. I tried it, I hated it, because it's just another Runic deck. If they get rid of Fountain, you don't have enough stuff in your deck to really build a super fat board. And you'd be playing Raiden. So, you know, that's the right way you want to go. You can also play rank 3 package, do stuff like that. Dante, do Malicious, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with that's more suited to, like, your playstyle. But that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully this was informational. Like I said, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment on the video, like, subscribe, or you can just look me up on Facebook, or hit the Team Extra Facebook, hit the Instagram, hit the TikTok, hit me on Facebook. Anyone who's been watching this channel long enough knows my name at this point. If not, you'll figure it out. It's not hard. But that is all I got for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.